announcing the commencement of Phatts TV, sanctioned by PA Phatts and the non-medical proven son. Any and all words have been authorized during the show. There is nothing off limits. Nobody is restricted from watching or participating in the show. It is a free case. Commencing at the siren, any and all discussions will be cable for an extended period of time. Sports, politics, and any and all controversial topics will be talked about. You have been warned. May God be with us all.
That's why.
Were you muted?
Okay, now we got it. No, I had to turn the volume so far up because your volume was the opening was kind of low. Mm-hmm. So when I turned it back, I didn't see I turned it back too much. Mm. So welcome everybody to Phatts TV on this Thursday night, September the 10th. We got a lot of sports to talk about tonight. As you know, probably the start of the NFL season kicks off. It's going to be a very interesting season. As you know, there's been no exhibition games. So a lot of rookie quarterbacks starting, a lot of rookie coaches, some rookie coordinators. So it could be an interesting season. We are debuting the Triple P, and not the Triple P non-genetically proven son. The Phatts Fantastic Five, the Triple P. The
5 with a 3?
PHIVE 5. The non-genetically proven son and I will be picking 5 football games each week against the spread, either college or pros.
I know nothing about pros, so when I beat you, maybe you should just listen to me more often.
Maybe I should. Maybe. Definitely. But before we get to football, let's recap.
What are we recapping?
The Kentucky Derby.
Ooh. So
we're going to talk about how you don't bet the Derby, basically.
Oh.
Because yours truly, as usual, was a dumbass.
You do that a lot.
I do.
If you weren't a dumbass, you probably would have at least $10,000 more dollars.
Oh, probably much more than that. Probably $50,000 at least. I try to outthink the room, and it cost me. It always cost me. For those of you that were watching our Kentucky Derby preview show last Thursday, you know I went through a checklist that I use for the Kentucky Derby. There's 6 different things that I look at. And I always play the horses that get 5 or 6 checks on top in exotics, exactas, trifectas, and so on. So the horses that got the 6 checks were King Guillermo, who wound up being scratched in the race. And then they were the 4 outside horses, the 15 New York Traffic, the 16 Honor AP, the 17 Tis the Law, who went off as the huge favorite, and the 18 Authentic. There was only one horse that got 5 checks of mine, and that was number 2, Max Player. The rest got 4 or less. So for me, 4 or less is basically a throw out. Those horses will not win, but they can potentially hit the board second or third. So, I forget what your plays were. Actually, I don't think you made any plays, did you?
I never told you anything.
Yes. As you sit there and eat your dinner.
This pizza's good.
Yeah?
It's called Snap Custom Pizza. You basically go there and make a pizza.
Okay.
And I got something very similar to this last time I went there, but there's a little bit more stuff on this one.
Okay.
It's really good, though.
So we'll talk about the Derby, then we'll talk about what's on your pizza.
Sure.
So normally, with the way the odds were in the race, like I said, Tiz the Law was the overwhelming favorite, and to me, he was going to win the race. But I thought if any horses could beat him, it would have been either the 15 or the 16 New York Traffic or Honor AP. I did not like the 18 Authentic. He's a one-type horse. He likes the lead in the race. Well, he's breaking from the far outside. So he was really going to have to rush up a lot and cross over 17 horses to get the lead.
Right.
I figured that would kill him. So I played exactas with Tiz the Law. I played with Tiz the Law on top with every horse underneath.
Hoping like one would come in.
Hoping, like a long shot would come in. Like the horse that ended up finishing third, Mr. Big News at 46-1.
Right.
That would have been good. But then just in case if Tiz the Law didn't win, I put him second with the 15 New York Traffic, the 16 Honor AP, and the 2 Max Player. Then I played trifectas with Tiz the Law on top, the 2 Max Player, the 15 New York Traffic, the 16 Honor AP, the 18 Authentic to finish second, and all the rest to finish third.
Mm-hmm.
Those were the only plays that I did. You notice I left off a horse on top that got all 6 check marks. Authentic. Again, didn't like the horse.
Me and you didn't like him to win.
Right. Plus, he's out of Into Mischief. Now, for those of you that know that I own a couple horses, 4 to be exact, which I could have bought into Authentic up until the gates burst open because they're owned by, the majority owner is owned by the people that I could buy part of the horse off of. So I could have bought into him right up until post time of the race. So the race unfolded exactly like I thought it would. You watched the race. Authentic was basically running 10 wide down the front stretch to clear all the horses.
Right.
And he eventually did, a little bit before he got to the first turn. Tiz the Law settled in 4th, which was perfect for him. He was able to clear horses. He had nobody in front of him.
And that's exactly where me and you said he would want to be.
Yes. Yes. When I saw that, about 5 seconds into the race, when I saw that he was going to be able to sit right where he wanted to sit with no traffic, I told myself, race is over. Race was over 5 seconds in the race. They still had 1:55 seconds left to run. After 5 seconds, I said, race over.
It's like in bowling when it's off my hand.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes. So Authentic got the lead, but again, he had to rush up and he crossed horses. So, and he ran 22 4/5 for the opening quarter, which is probably a touch slower than I thought he would have had to run to get the lead. I was thinking 22 1. So not a huge difference. But then he got to slow the race down, which was the big part. He ran the first half in 46 2.
Even I said that was slow.
Yes. I was hoping to see 45 1.
44 something.
Yes.
Like 44 6.
Yes. There is no 6.
Sorry.
In the realm of racing, we go by fifths.
Sorry.
Yes. So basically he ran 46.4, which would be 46 and 2/5.
Yeah.
The thing was, no other horse came to challenge him. Every other horse just let him have the lead. He ran the first 6 furlongs in 1:10-1, so he got to even slow down the third quarter mile even slower. Coming around the turn, heading for home, he was on top. Tiz the Law was charging. Tiz the Law got even with him at one point. And knowing Tiz the Law, the way you know Tiz the Law, watching him every other race, he just blows right by horses at that point.
Right.
He did not blow by horses at that point.
No, he kind of got up next to him. That was about it.
Yeah. Authentic dug in, and he beat him by a length and a quarter at the wire. So, of course, the one horse that I have the 6 check marks,
It doesn't play.
I don't play on top. If it flips the other way, I have the exacta and I have the trifecta.
That would be okay.
Okay. Now, thinking what I should have done after it, like I said, I'm a dumbass. I should have taken about another $30 and played 15, 16, and 18 on top,
right,
with the 17 in second and all in third.
Right.
That would have cost me, well, let's see here. So it would have cost me $50, $1.52, $2.53, $4, $5, $6, $6.50, $26 it would have cost me to do that.
And the trifecta paid?
For 50 cents, it paid... Oops, wrong one.
You're playing 50 cents or $1?
I would have played 50 cents. That's how it would have been 26.
Okay.
The 50-cent trifecta paid $655.90.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
Well,
Yes.
leaders didn't do good that day. You said the favorite, my bad.
Yes. Oh, in the 14 races, the favorite won 1 race.
And Tiz the Law has lost 2 races.
In his career, both have been on that track. Now, the race that he lost, it was the first time, was on a sloppy track, and he was pinned inside for almost the entire race.
Right.
So you didn't know, does he not like the track? Does he not like the slop? Or just him being pinned, did that have anything to do with it?
Right.
So, frustrating.
I watched it and was just kind of surprised to see Tiz the Law didn't win.
Yeah. Yes.
Especially when I saw him kind of get up on the straightaway, I figured.
Yes.
That's it.
And knowing how I spend money wagering, you would think I would just spend the extra $30 to put authentic on top in exactas, which would have cost me $4,
Right.
and then 26 for the trifectas to do that.
Right.
You would think, knowing me, that I would do that.
No.
But no, I try to outthink the room and save myself some money, and as usual, it winds up costing me.
Right.
Ready? Set?
Idiot!
Yes. Yes.
I'm going to watch that on the screen. That was fun.
So, needless to say, I was not happy Saturday.
I'm sure.
Until about 3.5 hours later.
I know why.
Because something really good happened later Saturday night. As mad as I was about not winning money on the Kentucky Derby, one team's fans probably felt a lot worse at about 10:30, 11:15 at night.
I didn't even watch that game.
I did. So, which fans am I talking about?
The Flyers.
The Philadelphia Flyers. Yes. 2 of my favorite days of the year are A, when the Eagles are officially eliminated from winning the Super Bowl, and B, when the Flyers are officially eliminated from winning the Stanley Cup.
Those days come a lot.
Yes, they
Every
do.
year, just about.
Yes, they do. Flyers haven't won the Cup since the 70s. The Eagles have only won 1 Super Bowl. So, yes, those days come often, twice a year, every year. It's how it is. If you watched the game, you would have seen utter domination.
Right.
The Flyers kind of controlled the game for the first 4 or 5 minutes, and then the Islanders controlled the rest of the game. I mean, they passed the ball well. The ball. they passed the puck great. They were constantly moving the puck around. The second and third period, the Flyers couldn't even get in the Islanders' zone, and the Islanders made the Flyers look like they were trying to run on the ice instead of skate. The Islanders were just in a whole other gear that night.
Shame they're not doing that in their next series.
Yes. So
Last night, kind of a heartbreaker.
yeah, and so I don't know if you know this, but you probably do. 3 out of the 4 series in the second round went 7 games.
No, I haven't really been paying attention to that.
Yeah, well, you had Colorado, Dallas.
Right.
Colorado was down 3-1, tied it up, and then Dallas won in Game 7 in overtime.
Right.
Which we'll talk about that a little bit. You had Vegas, Vancouver. Vegas was up 3-1. Vancouver won 2 games in a row, take it to Game 7, and Vegas won Game 7. And the Islanders were up 3-1 over the Flyers. The Flyers won the next 2 to tie it up, and the Islanders won Game 7. So each team that was only had 1 win after 5 managed to tie it up through 7 and lost Game 7. So yes.
Go ahead about the...
So needless to say, our picks for the Stanley Cup are out. We both picked Colorado.
Right.
Now, they're...
Vegas, though, in the conference final, though, I think.
Yeah, they are. They're tied 1 game each with Dallas.
I'll tell you right now, that series is boring.
It is. Dallas won Game 1, 1-0, and lost Game 2, 2-0.
Watching them play is just like, oh,
yes.
This is boring hockey. And
yes.
in the East, it's fun. It's great.
Yeah. Can you imagine what it would have been if Colorado found a way to beat Dallas? How better that series would have been?
Yeah, and whoever came out of the West is going to win.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still going to say we lost our Stanley Cup prediction because in Game 1 of that series, Grubauer, the starting goalie, got hurt. And at some point, their number 2 goalie got hurt. So they had to play Hutchinson, who was down in the AHL. He had to play games 5, 6, and 7. Now, he won games 5 and 6. But I don't know. Colorado's defense did not play a good Game 7, let's put it that way.
Okay.
I know you didn't watch the game. I believe you were on a golf course.
I've been doing that a lot.
Yeah. Yes. And the goal in overtime, the guy was standing in the crease, and he basically took a stride to his left and back, and he found a lot of space, and the guy passed it right from behind the net, right onto his stick. Goalie had no chance. No chance. By the time he reacted, the puck was in the net.
Good.
So Vegas and Dallas are now tied at 1 game apiece. Tampa destroyed the Islanders in Game 1. I think it was 8-2.
Right.
But, for those of you that don't know, the West was playing in Edmonton, the East was playing in Toronto until this round. Then those playing in the East went to Edmonton as well. So, Tampa was probably in Edmonton for 3 or 4 days. The Islanders got a day off, which they had to fly that day to Edmonton. So they looked tired in Game 1.
Right.
They looked absolutely tired. Now, they played a much better Game 2. They only lost 2-1.
And they lost with 7 seconds left.
Was it? I didn't see that goal.
7-2, I believe.
No.
Tampa's just a really unlucky bounce. The goalie got it, and it kind of hit his back and went in.
That sucks. Tampa's first goal should have never happened. The Islander guy had the puck, and he shot it into Tampa zone and was called for icing.
Right.
He was literally one stride behind center ice. Mm-hmm. If he takes one more stride, which there was nobody in front of him,
mm-hmm.
and dumps the puck in, there's no icing.
Right.
Now, hard to tell by the camera angles. To me, there was a defenseman in Tampa's zone that to me looked like touched the puck.
Okay.
So the icing should have been waved off. If he touches the puck, the icing gets waved off.
Right.
There wasn't a really good camera angle, so you really couldn't tell. And then, needless to say, for those of you that don't know hockey, on an icing, the team that ices the puck can't change their lines. So they were tired. Tampa Bay wins the face-off, passes it once. The guy shoots from a distance, and he scores. Would have never happened if that icing never happens. So,
Right.
of all probability, that series is probably over. I would have thought that the Islanders would have had a win last night. Now, they played a good game. If they could come back and win the next two, maybe. I don't see it.
I would much rather see the Islanders in the Stanley Cup final.
I think now it's Tampa's to win all the way through. To me, they're the best team remaining.
Tampa Vegas could be interesting.
That would be a good series. You really got to hope Dallas doesn't make it. As high scoring as the Dallas Colorado series, that was, I think, the 5th highest scoring series in NHL history. Playoff series.
Yeah, that's going to have the 5th lowest scoring series in NHL history because their series sucks.
Yes. Yeah, so we're going to hope Vegas comes out of the West because it'll be a much more interesting finals. Basketball, we're not even going to talk basketball because we don't really care about basketball.
Are they in the playoffs?
Yes. In the West, it's going to be Lakers, Clippers. In the East, I think Miami shut out Milwaukee, and Boston and Toronto are going to Game 7. So
it's going to be Boston Lakers because that's what the media wants.
Yeah, don't be surprised.
LeBron plays for the Lakers.
Yes, don't be surprised when the Clippers beat the Lakers.
Really?
I'm going to tell you that right now. Don't be surprised when you see the Clippers winning the whole thing.
Cool. As long as it's not the Sixers.
No. So before we get to football, we're going to turn it over to something you know.
What do I know?
And something probably will lose a third of the audience.
We didn't talk about my pizza.
Oh, yes. So, yeah, what toppings did you get on your pizza?
Okay, so there's penne. It's like a mac and cheese, I guess.
So you put pasta on your pizza.
Right. There's mozzarella, cheddar, and then ricotta all melted. Then I put bacon on it with fresh basil, fresh Parmesan, olive oil, and one other oil. I forget what it was called.
That sounds pretty good, except for the pasta.
Okay.
Except for the pasta. And I didn't hear American cheese, so I guess they don't have American cheese as an option there.
Maybe they put American on it too. I don't know.
Okay. Because we know how good a pizza is with American cheese on it.
Well, these pizzas are good. They're personal pizzas for like $9, and you could put as much as you want on it.
Got it. Yeah, I guess a plain 12-inch pizza for $9 wouldn't be a really good price.
No, but you could put as many meats as you want, I believe.
Got it.
So, you put your pepperoni, your bacon, whatever else you want up.
Yes. All right, so let's talk about something you know.
Soccer.
Okay, we could talk about that too.
Oh, is that what you were going to say?
No, that's what I was going to say. So the English Premier League starts Saturday morning. I believe Arsenal's in the first game, right? Yeah. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't they just end like 3 weeks ago?
Yes.
So
the Champions League final was 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And the last Premier League game was like a month ago.
Yeah. So quick turnaround.
That's the one good thing about COVID. New season's already here.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait.
So,
5 months.
Needless to say, I even remember that Liverpool won the league last season. It'd be pretty hard to forget. Who are the favorites? Now, I was talking to you about this a little bit. You're thinking that it's wide open this year.
I think it's up to at least 3 teams, maybe 4, maybe 5.
Well, there's only 20 teams in the league, so if you're saying 5, that's a quarter of the league could win it.
3 teams definitely can win it. A 4th, if Liverpool and City really have like a stinker season, and then a 5th if they just aren't. If the team that I'm thinking is better than they are.
So I'm assuming the team you're going to put on top is the Wolves, of course.
What do you mean, Leeds?
Leeds, yeah, Leeds.
Or West Brom, duh.
So Wolves, my team, they're on top, right?
Wolves is going to get like 6.
Okay. Well, let's hope they could finish 5th.
So Liverpool's going to be the favorite with City as second. It's between them two mostly. But then the third team is Chelsea.
Now, you're saying Chelsea got a lot of new players this year.
Chelsea got a new striker, 2 new midfielders. They're going to get probably another goaltender soon. Pulisic is healthy. They spent over $200 million.
Did you say Joey Pants is healthy?
Joey Pants is healthy.
Okay.
And then the fourth team that could realistically win it is United. But they need a striker that they don't have.
So that would be Manchester United.
Yes.
Yes.
And then the fifth team that could win it, but they're a few years away yet, is Arsenal, actually.
Okay.
They, with Arteta, which is previously Man City's assistant coach, and now they've won 2 trophies in the last month.
All right.
Won the FA Cup, won the Community Shield, beat Liverpool in a penalty shootout. They could make some noise. I wouldn't say they're going to win, but I could see them making top 4.
Okay. So I didn't hear you say Leicester.
Leicester's not good.
They're not good this year?
It's Leicester. I think they just had like a really good start of the season last year.
Okay.
I mean, they were second for so long, and then they kind of went, like back to their normal, 9th, 10th place form, and fell all the way back down to 5th.
Okay.
And they had over, I think it was a 15-point lead on 5th halfway through the season and lost it.
Okay.
So they're probably due for another like 8th or 9th kind of finish.
Got you. So, prediction, who's winning?
Whatever team, between the 2 matches between City and Liverpool, whoever wins.
Okay. Liverpool's not winning the league this year.
Liverpool's not winning the
Let's think. How many games did they get lucky to win last season?
A lot.
By a fluke goal,
Yeah.
a weird play.
Is it 18 points worth of crap?
I would say they had at least 6 games where they got lucky to win, yes. 6 games is 18 points, for those of you that don't know.
The way Liverpool's been playing, they're playing like a 3rd, 4th, 5th place team
Yes.
now.
So, now you tell me, how City last year, that's Manchester City. Yes, there's 2 clubs in Manchester.
Yes.
Their weak spot last year was their defense.
Yes. And
Is it better?
Go ahead.
Is it better? That's what I'm asking.
They bought Ake from a team that got relegated. He'll probably be a rotation player. They haven't bought Koulibaly yet. He would be our new starter. If we get Koulibaly, our defense is soft. Because we have Ake, Koulibaly, Laporte, and yeah. And Fernandinho, he could play there too. What we also need is a left back. Don't have a left back. Ake, I think, can play left back though.
Okay.
And apparently next year we're getting Messi.
All right. So
we're gonna get him this year, but Barcelona's like, ugh.
So I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say Chelsea wins it this year.
I wouldn't be shocked. I kind of hope they don't.
I think they might be a year away. I think next season they're going to be really good.
I think next season, when they can get a couple more defenders, I think that's what their weak spot's going to be.
Yes.
Their weak spot, their defenders are. They got Thiago Silva on a free from PSG, but he's up there. He's in his 30s, which isn't. You could play defender till you're realistically 40 something.
Mm-hmm.
You're not doing that much running, but he's kind of washed up in a way. He used to be a lot better than what he is.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if Chelsea can get a couple younger center backs and a new goaltender, yeah, they could be really good.
Okay. I think they're scoring goals this year, so teams are going to have to outscore them to win.
I could see a lot of their games being like 3-2.
Yeah.
kind of games. Because their offense is, I mean, they got Werner up top. They have Ziyech, Havertz, Pulisic.
Yeah.
They have some really good young talent.
Mm-hmm.
The last 3 or 4 years where Chelsea's been like third, fourth, scraping out because they haven't been that good, but all their players have been 20, 21, 22. Now they're going to get into their primes, and they're probably going to be really good.
Okay. So we will certainly be talking a lot more soccer as the weeks and months go by.
Did we lose viewers from that?
We did lose a quarter of them.
I'm serious?
Yes. But then some came back. So let's turn our attention to football, and we'll just touch on college football just a little bit. Cuz all right, so it's not Penn State this year. Yeah, we are not playing. Although, you know what? I tell you what. I did hear breaking news. I got to get a breaking news sound. We have to come up with some kind of breaking news sound. Don't be surprised if the Big Ten is playing sometime towards the end of October. Do not be surprised.
Am I going into Beaver Stadium?
It depends on if they'll allow fans. That's gonna be the thing. I mean, that's gonna be the other problem. You know, how does the weather up in State College? How does it get in Minnesota? You know, late in the year, it starts to get cold. You know, I've told you stories already where Penn State's pipes freeze in November if it gets cold enough up at Beaver Stadium.
There was one time last semester I was walking from my car to my dorm, and the buses weren't running that day. And it was 0 degrees and windy.
Yeah.
I was freezing.
Knowing you had a sweatshirt on.
I had a hoodie on.
Yeah.
But I did have my thermal gloves in my car. So.
Did you have them on?
No, I put them on my feet. Yes,
well,
I put them on
you just said you had them in your car. Doesn't mean you got them out of your car.
Yes, I looked for them. Because I was like, wait, I think I have these in my car. And I have my beanie, too.
Ah, there you go. All right.
I wasn't dying of cold, but I was dying.
So, we're not going to, like I said, spend much time on college football because, you know, here are the Saturday games. North Carolina, 23-point favorite over Syracuse. Iowa State, 11.5-point favorite over Lafayette. Appalachian State, 16-point favorite. Kansas State, 10.5-point favorite. Army, 21. Notre Dame, 20.5. Florida State, 13.5. Texas State, 9.5. Tulane, 9.5. Clemson, 33.5. Louisville, 12.5. Texas, 42.5. Texas Tech, 39.5. Kansas, 6.5. Auburn, Kentucky is probably the best game of the weekend, and they're a 7-point favorite. You know, Florida.
Nothing under 7, so you said one of them at 6.5.
Yeah, Florida, Ole Miss, 13. LSU, 16.5. Georgia, 24.5. Alabama, 23.5. Texas A&M, 30. There you go. Here's a good game. Tennessee, 3-point favorite over South Carolina.
Ooh,
Game of the week.
2 teams that could maybe touch the top 25.
Game of the week. In fact, I think that's where game day is going this Saturday. How bad is college football if game day is going to Tennessee, South Carolina?
Yeah, you're right.
How bad is that? So, like I said, we're not going to spend any time on college this week. We will certainly talk about that in the future. So, let's get into the NFL. And we're going to do 2 things tonight. First, we're going to go through how the divisions are set up.
With teams?
Yeah, and who are the favorites to win the division. And
those teams?
And then you're going to say who you think's going to win the division, and then I'm going to say who I think's going to win the division. We'll go through quick who's going to make the playoffs, who's going to make the championship game, who's making the Super Bowl, and who's winning the Super Bowl. All right?
Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jacksonville Jaguars. There you go. There you go. So, let's start in the NFC.
Okay, let me just pull up the divisions because I don't want to butcher
Let's start in the NFC North. So right now, that division is probably the most wide open. Minnesota's the favorite to win the division at plus 160. Green Bay second at plus 170. Chicago at plus 375. Detroit at plus 550.
Okay.
I know you're a Green Bay fan, so I'm sure you're going to pick Green Bay to win that division.
Actually, it'll become between Green Bay and Minnesota. But
Yes.
if Chicago starts playing Nick Foles, I think they have a chance too.
Okay. So, pick one.
Whoever wins the Green Bay Minnesota game,
Which they do play in week 1. Pick one.
Minnesota. They probably have a better defense.
Okay. I'll take Green Bay.
Even though, I'm a Green Bay fan, I don't think I have a single Green Bay fan.
Because you're not that big of a Green Bay fan.
No.
Here's the problem that you got to remember. No fans, or very little fans. Dome teams need those fans. They're not going to have the fans.
Green Bay without the fans.
Green Bay, Lambeau Field. That place gets loud. Fans are right on top of the field, basically. No fans. It's going to be a weird, excuse my language, fucked up season.
Pretty much.
All right, let's move to the NFC South. Surprisingly, the Tom Brady-led Tampa Bay Bucks are the favorites to win the division.
Oh my God!
At
Get out of here.
plus 137. New Orleans second at plus 175. Atlanta plus 225. Carolina plus 1100. Who wins the division?
The Saints.
You say the Saints.
I wouldn't surprise me if the Bucks once the playoffs come around, they'll make the playoffs. But once those come around, that's when I think the Bucks will get better. But right now, first 6 weeks, no.
All right.
They're gonna go 3-3.
I agree with you. I think the Saints win that division. I don't think the Bucks will go 3-3 in their first 6. Interestingly enough, they play each other in week 1.
There you go.
In New Orleans. So again, no fans. Is this going to be like a scrimmage for Tom Brady? Is he going to have open wide receivers all day long? You're not going to have to go on a silent count because there's nobody screaming and shouting. You could hear everybody. Again, fucked up. NFC West. Your Super Bowl losers. Your Super Bowl losers from last year, San Francisco at plus 110, Seattle plus 225, Rams plus 350, Arizona plus 900. Now, one of the things I preach on every year is the Super Bowl loser doesn't usually play good the next season unless you're the Tom Brady-led New England Patriots.
Who wins the Super Bowl the next season.
Yes. So, with saying that, San Francisco is a pretty big favorite to win that division. Who do you think wins that division?
Seattle.
You think Seattle wins that division at 225?
Seattle is driven by their fans.
Yes.
That is big, fan base. So
yes.
Realistically, actually, almost any of them could win this division.
Yes. I am going to go out on a limb here. I am going to say the Rams win this division.
Okay.
San Francisco comes in second. Seattle comes in third. Arizona, who to me shouldn't be plus 900. They should be more like plus 500. They're going to surprise some teams this year. They are stacked on the offensive side of the ball. Stacked. They are going to be a fun team to watch this year and several years down the road, hopefully. Especially with the addition of DeAndre Hopkins. And I have their quarterback in my fantasy league. Because he's got great receivers and he can run the ball. So now let's go to the NFC East.
Oh, best division in football.
You have the Dallas Cowboys as the favorite at minus 133. They're a pretty big favorite to win the division. You have the Eagles second at plus 150. You have the Giants third at plus 1,000. And you have Washington, the Washington football team, for crying out loud. Just as a getting the participation trophy for the season at plus 1,400. Who wins the division?
Probably Dallas.
You think Dallas is gonna win the division?
As long as they beat the Eagles in Philly, yeah.
Okay. As much as it pains me to say this, I'm picking the Eagles to win that division.
You're gross.
So I don't have any of the favorites winning a division in the NFC.
No, you don't.
Interesting. Who are your playoff teams? Now the playoffs are expanded this year from 6 to 7 teams. So you got the 4 division winners. So you liked Minnesota, New Orleans, Seattle, and Dallas. And so who are your 3 wild card teams? You said Tampa. You said Tampa was going to make the playoffs.
Tampa, Green Bay, and the Rams.
So you don't have San Francisco or the Eagles making the playoffs.
I don't see the Eagles having much better than like a 9-7 record.
Okay. Which 2 teams are going? Which 2 of those teams go to the conference finals?
Minnesota and Tampa.
Oof. And who's going to the Super Bowl?
Is it rigged?
You never know.
If it's rigged, Tampa. If it's not, Minnesota.
Well, you got to pick one.
Minnesota.
Minnesota going to the Super Bowl. I agree that the NFC is pretty wide open. So I have New Orleans. I had in the North. I had Green Bay. New Orleans. I had the Rams. LA Rams. I had Philly. My other 3 teams are going to be Tampa Bay, Dallas, and do I want to put Minnesota in there or do I want to put San Francisco in there? I'm going to put San Francisco in there. So I actually don't have Minnesota even going to the playoffs.
I see that.
My NFC championship game is going to be New Orleans. I think this is their last year to make a run. I think this is probably Drew Brees' last year. And I'm going to say Tampa as well.
I think Tampa will get it together. And once they get it together, I think their offense is going to be nasty.
And I'm saying New Orleans goes to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And you're right. Once they get it together, they will be nasty.
They have really good wide receivers. I think they have Gronk.
Yes.
Yes. And you have Tom Brady.
Yes.
So it's just like...
Yes. All right. So let's move over to the AFC. To me, the AFC is easy. Easy. Let's start in the North. You got Baltimore at minus 188 to win the division. Pittsburgh plus 280. Cleveland plus 550. Cincy plus 2,500. In other words, just watching. Does Baltimore win the division at minus 188?
Easily.
Easily, he says.
They could realistically probably go 16-0.
They can. I don't think they will. When we were talking about this the other day, I said like their travel schedule. I don't think they go west of Indy. They play in Houston. That might be west of Indy. I mean,
I think you told me that was their toughest game.
No. Well, Kansas City's their toughest game, but they get to Kansas City at home.
Well, yeah, without fans though.
Their toughest road game is either going to be Houston or Indy. Yeah, it's like, in my opinion, yeah. Yeah, so
Kansas City's more west than Indy.
I think the way they're listed here is exactly how the division's going to come. Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Cincy. I think they have it right there.
I think Cleveland could finish second.
They can if they get it together.
Yeah.
That's the problem. I mean, Baker Mayfield's on his 3rd head coach in 3 years.
Yeah, that's not good.
I mean, if they could ever get it together, yes. A lot of people are picking them to make the playoffs this year. So we'll see. Down south, you got Indy at plus 115, Tennessee at plus 170, Houston at plus 350, Jacksonville plus 2,500 participation trophy.
Jacksonville could go 0-16.
Don't be surprised when they beat Indy in week 1. They've beaten Indy, I believe it's the last 4 years when they played them at home. For some reason, Indy goes in there and can't play good. So don't be surprised week 1 if you see Jacksonville winning that game and then losing every other game. Although they play Cincinnati this year, so who knows who's going to win that game.
Oh, that'd be a fun game.
It could be. So, who's winning this division?
This is a tough division.
It is.
I think as though somebody could win this division at 10-6.
I think somebody could win this division at 9-7.
Yeah. I'll take Tennessee.
And so am I. Tennessee.
It was between them and Houston, actually.
Indy, they got what's his name from San Diego as their quarterback, but they got rookies running back, rookies wide receivers, so their playmakers are all rookies.
San Diego? Who's San Diego's quarterback?
What's his name? Philip Rivers.
Philip Rivers.
Yes, yeah. Yes, he's in Indy now.
Oh.
So I think Tennessee wins that division. So we agree on that. The West. Kansas City at minus 450. 450. Chargers at plus 700.
Oh.
Denver at plus 1,000. Raiders at plus 1,200. I'm going to assume you're saying Kansas City wins this division.
Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if the Chargers beat them at some point. Like in San Diego.
You know what? I don't think I think there's another team in this division that could beat them. Denver.
Because they have a pretty good offense.
Denver is going to be exciting to watch this year. They are going to put up points. The problem is their best defensive player just got hurt. He's out for the season. Just got hurt like 2 or 3 days ago.
Oof.
Yeah. I actually had them making the playoffs.
Oh.
Now I don't know if I'm going to have them making the playoffs just because of that one injury. So, all right. So we both think Kansas City. Now let's go to the AFC East. For the first time in God knows how long, the Patriots are not the favorite to win this division.
Okay.
The Buffalo Bills are the favorite at plus 115. The Patriots are second at plus 145. The Dolphins at plus 750. The Jets, my team, at plus 800.
Yeah, the Jets, no, they don't fit.
Who's winning this division?
Buffalo.
Buffalo's winning this division.
And Miami could get second.
You're stealing my thunder.
I don't think the Patriots are going to be any good.
Book it right now. Do not be surprised when the Patriots finish last in this division.
Oh, gee, I don't know about that.
Don't be surprised when they finish last. They've had, I think, 8 players that were starters or saw significant playing time opt out this year because of COVID.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Obviously, they got what's his name from Carolina as their quarterback.
Yeah, what's his face? He won the Super Bowl once.
He's a turn. What? No, he hasn't.
Yes, he did. With Carolina Panthers. Carolina Panthers did make the Super Bowl.
And they lost.
And they lost.
Oh, I thought you said they won the Super Bowl once.
No, he made the Super Bowl.
Yes. Do not be surprised if New England, let's just say, doesn't play to their potential. So they could get a pretty high pick next year and go after a quarterback. Don't be surprised.
Oh, so you think they could throw it on purpose?
I think they can.
so they can. I wouldn't say they try to go 1-15 so they get Trevor Lawrence. But the Bengals don't need a quarterback.
No.
I don't.
No, they just got Joe Burrow. Jets aren't going to want to trade what's his name. Is Jacksonville going to take him? Is Carolina going to take him? I mean, Carolina got Teddy Bridgewater. Is he just a 1-year wonder for them? I mean, who knows?
Because Daniel Jones sucks.
Well, who knows? I mean, they drafted him to play, so this is only going to be his first full year as a starter, so we'll see. All right, who's making the playoffs from the East? So we both agree on the division winners: Baltimore, Tennessee, Kansas City, and Buffalo. Who is your 3 wild card teams?
Indy.
Uh-huh.
Cleveland.
Yeah.
And Miami.
Miami. Holy Jesus. Wow.
Miami.
Who's making it to the AFC Championship game?
Baltimore and Kansas City, probably.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. I think that's
a surprise in there, possibly.
And who wins?
Can neither win?
No.
Baltimore.
Baltimore.
We'll get their revenge.
All right. So I have Baltimore, Tennessee, Kansas City, and Buffalo making the playoffs, and I'm going to put with them Pittsburgh, Indy, and Denver. So basically Pittsburgh. So basically the AFC, yes, he's coming back. Who knows how long he'll be there until he gets hurt again.
Right.
But yeah, Baltimore, Kansas City into the AFC Finals. I also agree on Baltimore winning because they will have home field advantage. Because I think they lose at the most 2 games this year. And that's if they lose at home to Kansas City.
Right.
You know where they actually could lose a game? They do have to go to Philly.
You really think Philly could beat Baltimore?
Philly gets up for games like that. They do. They get up for games like that for some reason.
I don't like it when Green Bay goes to Philly because they lose there.
Yeah. All right, so who's winning the Super Bowl? Minnesota or Baltimore?
Baltimore.
Baltimore. So you have Baltimore, and I am going to take New Orleans.
So Drew Brees can retire.
Yes. I think he retires regardless.
Okay.
Regardless. So, we got 7 minutes to do this really quick.
7 minutes.
Let's premiere the Phatts Fantastic 5. Each week, you and I will have 5 picks. Could be college, could be pros. Could be spread, could be over-unders. Doesn't matter.
Oh, look at that. The Phatts Fantastic.
Look at that. Look at that.
Look how that is.
Look at that. So, let's do your picks first.
My picks. What were my picks?
So, we got the non-genetically proven son.
Okay, wait. Let me just pull it up.
Well, you're going to see it on the screen very shortly.
Oh, look at that. Yeah.
So you actually like tonight's game. You have Houston getting the 9.5.
That's a lot of points.
It is a lot of points. It is.
No preseason.
Yeah.
I think Kansas City will win.
Yeah.
But not by 9.5, maybe 3.
My worry with Houston covering is Kansas City is so fast.
They're down. It's up to 10, by the way.
Okay. You have Seattle going across country, going into Atlanta at -2.5. You have the Dolphins going up to New England, getting 6.5. You have the LA Chargers going into Cincinnati, given 3.5. And you have the Rams at getting 3 as a home underdog, opening their new stadium. The Chargers and the Rams are sharing that stadium. So the Rams get the home opener against the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. Those are your plays.
Yes.
You want to talk about any of them quick?
There's Seattle. Seattle. They have a pretty good offense, right?
They do. Their offensive line isn't going to be good this year.
As I said, I think Miami is going to make the playoffs.
Well,
That would mean going and beating New England.
so you're calling for the upset.
I mean, New England still might win that game, but not by 6.5.
Okay.
Well, and then Cincinnati's, I think, is going to get to a really slow start if they ever get to any kind of start.
That would make perfect sense. Again, Joe Burrows. This is going to be his first snap in the NFL. Again, no preseason.
So I could see LA winning that game by 20, 25.
I don't, but I see them winning, but not by 20.
Maybe I've just watched too much college football.
And the Rams.
I don't think Dallas is that good.
Okay.
I don't think that whole division's any good.
Okay. All right. So, those are his plays. The non-genetically proven son, Houston, Seattle, Miami, Chargers, Rams. And we'll certainly keep track through the season. We'll have our records.
Near the beach.
What?
I like a lot of teams near the beach.
You do. Now my picks. We disagree on one game. I have Atlanta. I'll change that. That line was actually 2.5 this afternoon. So we'll use it at 2.5. What we're doing is we're taking the lines as of noon on Thursday. And this 2.5 was the line at noon today. This was the line at like 6 o'clock when I looked at it. So I'll say Atlanta plus 2.5. Indy, Jacksonville under. I can't understand why that's 45. That should be no more than 41. I don't know how Jacksonville's going to score points this year. As I said, Indy doesn't play well going in there. They got a lot of rookies as their playmakers. We agree with Miami getting 6.5. I like Arizona going on the road in week 1, going into San Francisco. Why? The team that loses the Super Bowl, unless you're the New England Patriots, does not play good the next year. Especially game 1. Now that I say that, San Francisco win 42-3. And last but not least, even though Miller's hurt, I'm taking the home underdog with Denver plus 2.5 on Monday Night Football. And why? Because if you think Tennessee is going to be ready, again, without playing any preseason games, to go into Mile High Stadium in Denver and be able to survive fourth quarters in that thin air, you're nuts. Denver wins that game. Historically, I love taking underdogs in week 1 because the lines are always inflated. This year, who the hell knows? Who the hell knows? So, those are our plays for week 1. We will recap our plays on Tuesday.
1 minute to spare.
Yes. Any final thoughts?
No. Go Penn State.
Go Penn State. Yes, that would be nice. All right, then. Until we see you again on Tuesday, I got to get in a fantasy lineup. I got to get in the Binkley pool, and I got to get in my pool picks before this game starts. So,
who's your quarterback?
I told you in fantasy, it's the Arizona's quarterback, and actually, I have San Francisco's quarterback as my other quarterback. So,
Garoppolo.
Yes. So we'll see who I wind up playing this week. Do you have our exit music ready?
I do.
All right. I said we would be done by 8, and it's 8.
Right.
All right. We will see you Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great weekend. Say goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.